Welcome to the Den. I'm in hushed tones because I'm A, in the home dugout, and B, Daniel Farke is still doing his post-match radio commitment, so I'll leave him to it if I just step away and you can watch them do their stuff in the background. But Norwich City at the Den against Millwall, 4-0. It finished last season, of course, in August, early on, 5 games into Daniel Farke's reign, and stood in this stadium. I basically said, if this carries on, Norwich are going to get relegated, as poor as they were and as incapable of dealing with an immensely predictable threat. Wow, we are in a different world now, of course. Norwich City winning here 3-1. That's where 3,206, in fact I think it was more than that in the end, but they were the pre-sold tickets, and a few more besides, watched Norwich City pick up their 3 points, their 20th league win of the season, returning to the top of the division, 2 points back ahead of Leeds, if I remember rightly, and again adding a couple of goals to a goal difference that had closed up, of course, after Leeds' win after West Brom. Norwich are now 9 points. Hope the sound is all right on this. It's a bit windy. 9 points clear of the Baggies, which I think, given the fact that we only have 11 games to play, does rather mean that for Norwich, I would say the Baggies are out of the mix, and if the Baggies do manage to overtake Norwich now, it will be because Norwich's form has fallen off a cliff, not because Norwich is still in automatic promotion contention. That's probably the reality now, which of course leaves it as 2 from 3 with Sheffield United playing at Sheffield Wednesday on Monday. You know all that, of course, but it just emphasises what a brilliant position Norwich find themselves in after this victory at the Den. And some clarification around it. This was really tough. Millwall have had a pretty wretched weekend of it now because they've lost. I think Rotherham won. Reading won at Ipswich, as you may know. So in terms of their weekend, it's been a bit of a disaster. But the way this Millwall side is set up, how they go about things, they're robust. You know, once they get their FA Cup quarter-final out of the way with Brighton, they'll probably get back round to picking up a few more points because, you know, they've got some good things going for them, but you can see why they're struggling. Likewise, they actually had some really good chances today, as they did at Hull, I think, in midweek, and couldn't take them, and I think that's what's really costing them, and it's costing them some severe points. And you know, they looked devoid of confidence probably in front of goal, and they really did have some good chances today at some quite key moments. And this was kind of underlined by the fact that Norwich really had to dig in. They really had to work hard, so hard for this. They had to dig in hugely defensively, more than we've seen them in quite a while. You know, given how Millwall go about it, they are down your throats in a lot of ways, and you can't really hide from it. You just have to deal with it, which of course they didn't last season. But it's probably an understated point that this Norwich side can deal with it this season. They can deal with the rough stuff. They've been so good over such a long period of time that they've proven that. It's really hard to get out of the Championship if you're all about pretty football, and Norwich aren't. And I think they'll take a huge amount of satisfaction out of that, out of the fact that off the back of the Leeds result, there was a bit of pressure on it. Big away following, which Norwich haven't always dealt with in the past. Sometimes that's been when they've slipped up most. So just a phenomenal occasion, adding to the momentum and the feeling that Norwich City could be onto something very good this season. 11 games left to play, of course. So we've still got a bit of way to go, but Norwich are on 69 points, so that's an impressive tally to be on. Norwich, let's go through the goals, shall we, briefly. Norwich had to weather storms at the start of both halves, but they did score first in both halves too. The first goal coming from excellent work from Ana Hernandez, working well with Emi Buendia, who was outstanding today. Emi Buendia created that chance. The Archer came out and saved well, but Stiepermann took his follow-up really well. A clinical finish, you might say, after his praise from Daniel Farke for the car wash job he did on the head coach's car. A really sloppy concession for Norwich to end up going in level at half-time, which, even though Millwall did have really good spells, probably flattered them. It was from a corner. It wasn't the best hit corner. Steve Morrison recalled to the side. One of 4 changes Neil Harris made. A little flick at the near post, and I think it was Sam Williams was able to just nod home, and that was a kind of a flat moment. And they say scoring before half-time is is a good thing. But actually I didn't think it was today, because had Millwall got another 10 minutes at Norwich, maybe they would have taken advantage. As it was, Norwich got to go in at half time and just recoup. And second half again, it was sort of breakneck speed. It was a really captivating game to watch. But ultimately Norwich got themselves back ahead with a corner of their own from Emi Buendia, headed home brilliantly by Christoph Zimmermann, a real bullet header. We'd have probably been expecting that sort of goal from Millwall, but it was a brilliant taken header, and by all accounts Christoph's had a difficult week of it, so I think that meant a lot to him, that goal, and thoroughly deserved for a man who is just such a leader in the group. It's phenomenal to see what he's done in these 2 years. Wonderful corner from Emi Buendia. The third goal, the absolute pick though. Brilliant tight turn from Hernandez in the central midfield. The pass from Emi Buendia is outstanding to pick out Teemu Pukki's run. Teemu Pukki's first touch is probably the best first touch I've seen this season. He took it in his stride, it took him into space. Excuse me. It was so good I can't even say the words. And took the defender completely out of the equation. And then he just bore down on goal and slotted it wonderfully past Archer in front of those 3,000 plus Norwich City fans. It was a phenomenal moment. Everyone here will remember, and it really wrapped up the game. And to be honest, there were scrambles and all sorts afterwards. Norwich needed a 2-goal lead to really feel like they could go on to win this game today. And fortunately, as has been the case a lot this season, they did what was needed. Swansea then on Friday coming up. And of course Norwich therefore are the first team to kick off. They've got 2 home games, Swansea on the Friday night as I said, and then Hull on the Wednesday evening. 2 home evening kick-offs under the floodlights. Norwich are first up. If they do get that win against Swansea, that will take them 5 points clear at the top. And of course, depending on what Sheffield United do on Monday night, it could be an even bigger gap to third ahead of those Saturday kickoffs. Norwich are in a great position to put a lot of pressure on the other teams now if they can do the business. And that's because they did the business tonight. Phenomenal stuff. Norwich City have won here at Millwall 3-1. On to the next one. Plenty more reaction and analysis. PinkUn.com.